If Andor is Star Wars at its best, why isn't it the future? Andor is one of the most critically praised Star Wars projects in decades. Fans call it the smartest, the most disciplined, the most adult. So here's the problem. If Andor is Star Wars at its best, why does it feel like the exception, not the future? Because this isn't just about one show. It's about what Star Wars is allowed to be. And it didn't succeed because it was louder. It didn't succeed because it had legacy characters. It didn't succeed because it played nostalgia like a weapon. It succeeded because it showed restraint. No Jedi speeches. No mythic shortcuts. No safety net. Just consequence. Every decision mattered. Every action had weight. Every victory came at a cost. And audiences noticed. Not because Andor felt different, but because it felt serious. It trusted the viewer. And Star Wars hasn't done that consistently in years. Which raises an uncomfortable question. If discipline works, why does the franchise keep running from it? Here's the part people don't like talking about. And it doesn't just tell a good story. It exposes a flaw in the system. Because if Andor works, then spectacle isn't the problem. And if spectacle isn't the problem, then leadership decisions are. And that's where the tension begins. Reports and industry chatter suggest Andor wasn't universally embraced internally. Not because it failed, but because it doesn't scale easily. Andor demands patience. It demands focus. It demands that Star Wars stop chasing applause every 5 minutes. That's not a creative risk. That's a structural one. Kathleen Kennedy is gone after more than a decade. Dave Filoni now sits at the center of creative power. On paper, that sounds like stability. To many fans, it sounds like hope. But leadership changes don't automatically move power. They redistribute incentives. Filoni is deeply tied to Star Wars lore, to legacy characters, to mythic continuity. That's not a criticism. It's a reality. And Andor doesn't live in that lane. It strips the myth down. It questions the rebellion. It removes the comfort of destiny. So the real question isn't whether Filoni is talented. It's whether Lucasfilm is willing to accept what Andor demands in return. Because discipline costs mass appeal. This is where the fandom fractures. Some fans say Andor is Star Wars at its best. Others say it's too heavy, too bleak, too real. They want escapism, hope, adventure. And both sides are right. That's the problem. Because Star Wars can't fully serve both at the same time. You can't have consequence and comfort without compromise. You can't have restraint and constant spectacle. So Lucasfilm has a choice. Andor isn't just a show. It's a fork in the road. Look at what's coming next. More legacy-driven stories. More familiar faces. More accessible tones. Not because Andor failed, but because it succeeded too narrowly. Andor proved what Star Wars can be. But the future slate suggests what it wants to be. And that tension hasn't been resolved. It's been deferred. So here's the question Lucasfilm won't answer directly. If Andor is Star Wars at its most disciplined, its most respected, its most honest, why does it feel like the path they're least willing to follow? Because this isn't about saving Star Wars. It's about choosing what kind of franchise it's allowed to become. And that decision hasn't been made yet.
Signal Screen breaks down what's trending before the noise takes over. Until then, stay sharp, stay curious, and follow the signal.